ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, presenting in the left-hand corner of the map. I'm trying to lower the excitement because it's been, I don't know how many months since I've watched these two players playing at the highest level. I've got to say they're both super rusty here, even though Magic is the only one calling himself rusty. Both of these players are a shell of themselves, but a shell of themselves is still better than everyone else. In the left-hand corner of the map, playing as Witzel-Botchley, it is super rusty Magic. And in the, that is I Am Magic, for those of you who don't know. And in the right-hand corner of the map, playing as his tried and true Zeus, it is Pegasus. We are on the map Blue Lagoon. Everyone's favorite lagoon. It doesn't ever get any more better than this. This is the map that I think a lot of the legacy players kind of grew up on, so to speak. Well, once the Voobly patch came in, a lot of the legacy players grew up on this map. We played this one from like, I think 2015 to 2024. So like a good solid 9 years of this being basically everyone's favorite map. The reason it was so much fun is because it's open in the sense that it's like very raid heavy, but it's also got the cliffs and canyons, so you can put effort into walling it up and playing defense if you wanted to, as opposed to say like a Ghost Lake or a Savannah, which while they have trees and things like that, it's a little bit harder to get that defensive play. So it's one of the most well-rounded maps, so to speak. And then also the actual water as well becomes another bit of a terrain to play for. It just had it all. It just absolutely had it all. Look, I gotta set the scene here, guys. I gotta set the scene. If I don't, then there's no story. We've got a narrative we got to build. Whether or not the narrative is correct, it doesn't matter. You see how they do the news nowadays? Even if there's a semblance of truth there, it's still news, you know? You know, you got to go for little anyways. I've got Hermes coming through from Pegasus, and for Magic, I imagine he's going to be going for Patakatl here, would be my guess, but he might choose, sorry, Patakettle? I can't remember. I imagine he goes for the bunny rabbits and he goes for the berry bush, but he might surprise me. We'll see. But Hermes in from Pegasus very early on. He's going to be going for the early Heracles rush with Olympian parentage, and then probably start motoring in to a whole bunch of center. And this is going to be a very, very interesting kind of situation, as we do see the walls coming up from Magic. Love to see this. He could also think about investing into even more defense here. For example, a quick couple of houses out and a couple of houses out here, wall, and then of course the fast advance from Pegasus will do nothing, and the slow advance from Magic will also sort of just end up with him being somewhat equal, because the extra resources he gets from advancing later get invested in defenses, and then yeah, everyone's happy basically. But so far, not going to be going for that. He is going through Patakettle here. The other option, Melina, I think, for Witzel-Botchley. Not the best versus Creek, in my opinion. You don't really want to build those units versus... you don't really want to go that God versus Creeks, in my opinion. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. As the Pokages has started up and Pegasus doesn't want to commit to anything. The base is incredibly defensive here for Magic. And I guess he is very well aware of how great his position is, and he doesn't have to worry about it, as now the bunny rabbits, they're out and they are looking menacingly as they, well, they're kind of cute. Wait, can I do this? Wait. That's not the button I was looking to click. Let me try this again. Professional observer, Twitch streamer, faster. There we go. The bunny rabbits are bunny rabbiting around. They're going to be searching for a little something, as the villagers do make their way over here. So this is some insane game sense from Magic as he feels this is going on. His bunny rabbits do not spot the villagers though, as the warrior priest chasing down the Heracles and the Jason. It is indeed 6 warrior priests are better than, or 6 heroes better than 2 heroes. Math checks out as the bunny rabbits into the main base. They're going to start getting some nibbles off. Whether or not this is worth it to bolt, time will only tell here, as the villagers will simply just go into the town center. Of course, the rabbits do start working towards their veterancy here, but 2 centaur will be more than enough to shut those bunny rabbits down. As Magic, can he get a villager pick? At the very least, great micro from Pegasus. He pulls the wrong one away, but Pegasus doesn't lose a villager. No worries there. Onto this side, though, a couple of Hippias are out, and now Magic needs to pull back home. He sees the Hippias, and he's going for a town center here. Not going to drop Blood Pact to get the town center up faster, but nonetheless, still going to be a very, very quick town center. Look at this position. Back gold mine, back hunt, back forest. It doesn't get any better than that. And he's got the berry bush as well with agave bloom to eat if necessary, as all of the warrior priests are going to get healed back up from this one as well. Agave bloom is effectively a buffed up healing spring for all intents and purposes, but it has a limit to it, as the centaur are going to be charging into the main base. Villagers going to be pulling away, and on this position at the very least, somewhat of a decent fight for Magic, because he's got healing, but of course he's going to be losing his bloom, so both players are losing out here as the centaur are just poking villagers down into the main base, and Magic is back to working yet again. No problems where that's concerned. Yeah, so the agave bloom also gets more food as you advance, so you can go for like the heroic age and drop it, then you get 1500 food, or 1500 HP. I think it's 1500 HP back. That's kind of a lot. Anyways, more warrior priest to come through, and my guess here for Magic is his plan is just pure warrior priest into the heroic age. Now he could go for spearman here, as he's dropping another Calpullian to go into those palm trees. He could go for spearman here, but with Pegasus going for a second town center, and the way that the game sort of shapes up, unless it's kind of a completely open map and a 0 town center sort of game, you're probably not going to be seeing those spearmen and a whole bunch of Hippias like running around trying to just outplay each other all too often. Calpulli coming up. A little bit of a... Wait, can this be pre-queued? I guess it can. I didn't even realize. You just you can just right click on it. There you go. Pre-queue the wood Calpulli and you're good to go. Meanwhile, how sick is this guy's game? I must have scouted it with this guy. Okay, never mind. I was about to say, Magic, stop it. Stop having good game sense, but it's not. He's just got the scouting. As he does manage to snipe a centaur there, that's gonna feel good. I wonder if the Tenali is fixed for myth units. In the last patch, it was at 0.75 for whatever reason. In the actual game code, it's supposed to be 4 Tenali, or for the myth units, but it wasn't working in the last patch. I don't know if the recent one fixed that up or not. Does anyone in Twitch chat know if they checked it out? Or YouTube chat? Maybe we can check it after the game. Anyways. The Kimichin spy doing all of the spying shenanigans. Kind of love this. Is he actually... Okay. Now you're just going to lose the spy Magic. The other option, which would be hilarious... The other option that would be hilarious is running in and dropping the... what's it called? The spike trap on the villagers. If your opponent doesn't notice it, it'll pop and do, I don't know, 20 damage to each of the villagers. So not really worth it, but it would be funny. Okay? It'd be funny. And that's really what we're after. As we do see it's Papalotl to come through for Magic. Not going to be going for the super Ayotochli sort of blood pact idea. You can blood pact the obsidian butterfly in a fight to get some crazy damage done with the initial special. It's not the most amazing thing after that special is done, so make sure you drop blood pact before the special is used. Anyways, heroic age is coming through. It is Dionysus for Pegasus. You got to be really, really careful here with unit comp against the Aztecs as Greek. If you go into Hippias too heavily, Spearmen will come through, and the Spearmen are an amazing counter to those Hippias. So you need to make sure you're ready to be building a Paspist for when those Spearmen come. Of course, the Hippias are going to be amazing versus units like the Eagle Warrior or the Tequiwa Archer. But yeah, those Spearmen are going to be really nice. On top of this, Pegasus already setting up with all these walls. Now, unfortunately for Pegasus and unfortunately for Blue Lagoon, the Obsidian Butterfly, she doesn't care about your walls if there's a puddle of water there. She is, in fact, amphibious. She can fly across the water. So, yes. One scary unit here as the Blood Pact does get dropped down onto this side. Medium Hippias will all get blown up there. And Pegasus back to the drawing board in this game as the Hydra going down. Sad boy. And the Butterfly is off to the races here. Now, of course, the Butterfly is kind of... I would call her a little bit mid without the upgrade. Only 5 speed, spatial ability. Pretty strong, but not anything to really write home about compared to some of the other abilities. There's one Butterfly that does get zapped. And Tlalcan is going to be coming in for... Or Khan is going to be coming in for magic very, very quickly here. Of course, Huitzilopochtli gets the refund on the Great Temple, so it does help with some faster mythics and things like that, as we do have a whole bunch of war huts coming down on the back here. And if we take a look, Magic has not really grabbed that many economic upgrades, so he's going to get full value out of that Tlalocues, or whatever it is, as a Blood Pact actually getting dropped onto a Warrior Priest here. Probably a little bit of an overkill. I still think that God Power is going to be amazing at any point in the game. One idea is actually to drop it onto a Villager when you hit the Mythic Age as well. They work very, very hard for those 30 seconds if you're in the Mythic Age and drop it on them. I can't remember what the boost is. It might be like 15x or 20x or something. It's pretty insane. But nonetheless, Spearmen now starting to come through. They don't have any upgrades. And there is a lot of damage here that Pegasus can actually get done as the Tech Shippler will come through. Bronze onto this position as Pegasus is feeling like he needs to make something happen here. He's put in a lot of aggressive moves in onto this side here, but the Spearmen are in to play defense as one Hippias goes down. More Hippias going to be falling over onto this side. The Spearmen going after those other Hippias there as well. Up onto the top there. Pegasus searching for some other stuff. And what can actually end up happening here for Pegasus after all of this damage is done? He picks off a ton of villages. Fantastic. Tlalcan, Pillar of Tlalcan does come down. That's going to make life a little bit tricky for Pegasus on this side. The damage isn't really that much, but it's worth it to go and fight somewhere else, to be honest. It is worth it to go fight somewhere else as the big fat upgrade to come through. Forge of Olympus, but the economic variety coming in as those Hippias are just ravaging villages left, right, and center. This damage is so vitally important from Pegasus because Magic greeted incredibly hard to get to that Mythic Age. Up to the top side, Magic has been spotted here, and all of these villages should end up falling as he's desperately trying to get back to the main base. We see that Huitzotl is going to be coming through to cause a little bit of a problem there. He doesn't actually continue chasing the villagers. A bit of a blunder from Pegasus as he lets 35, well, not 35, but he lets 9 villagers get away with their lives there. Over onto this left side, still more Hippias to come through. Does Pegasus have the military academies down? Answer, not just yet. Which is a little bit worrying if you ask me, because even though Magic is behind here, he's about to get himself a gold stipend. Big fat pile of gold from his technology. He's also going to be able to go into 6 myth units in his Great Temple and get his superhero myth unit out, hero out, excuse me, as well. And the big push from Magic's Mythic Age is still alive here as the Huitzilopochtli incarnate does come through. That's going to scare Pegasus off a little bit. Now, one idea for Pegasus here is to actually go for Hera rather than the Plenty Vault, rather than Hephaestus here. That could be his idea, because it's going to be able to take down all the spearmen, which deal with his Hippias, as well as deal with this bad boy as well. It means he doesn't have to worry a huge amount about dealing with those spearmen just yet, and then he can go into Hephaestus or Myrmidon later. As the spearmen will be pulling ever slow slightly back. We've got Wings of the South to come through for Magic. He's got a whole bunch of upgrades to still grab for his for unique upgrades to have for his spearmen to become very, very powerful. As he has dropped into this, and there goes his Mythic Age tribute for myth units. That's a lot of butterflies there from Magic. Wow, we got arguably the best tribute you could ask for. 2 soul guides, 2 obsidian butterflies, and Huitzilopochtli and Huitzilopochtli. That's everything you need for a really big push here. And Magic needs to make some sort of a push happen very, very shortly. As a 3rd town center up for Pegasus, up to the top side, we do have that Huitzilopochtli incarnate does come through here. Little bits of damage to come in from these units to distract as Magic is a bit busy elsewhere. Butterflies causing issues up onto that side. Of course, there is a bolt available. You can... Oh, can you bolt him? You can't. Wait. Huh? No, you can't bolt that guy. You can bolt one of those obsidian butterflies if you want, though. Wait, can't you? No, he's immune. No? He's not immune. I'm confused. Anyways, a bolt onto one of the obsidian butterflies as the Huitzilopochtli does start breaking through that front flank. But these Hippias, they do not win versus those spearmen. I cannot stress this enough. These spearmen are not Egyptian spearmen. Hippias can kind of fight versus Egyptian spearmen. They can't. They don't win versus Egyptian spearmen, but they can kind of fight versus them. You cannot fight versus Tlamani spearmen with Hippias. You just simply can't. Which does bring me to an interesting idea. What if the Egyptian spearmen were more like these spearmen? Do you think that's a buff or a nerf? I don't actually know. Just a random thought. Random thoughts come into my mind. I like to hear your opinions. Let me know. As the Hera on the way now for Pegasus. And the town center is going to be getting torn down. Of course, I think the plan here is Lightning Storm to deal with Spearmen, but Magic at the moment now, he is going to get such a big turnaround because there's no way to take these fights. At least not until a pretty nice, decent amount of Hephaestus end up coming through here. Up onto the top side, villagers mining away at this gold mine. A little bit of a raid here is nice while the main base is under a lot of pressure. Always love the split ups there as the hero's going after the soul guide. He's got a lot of HP, 780. Does take a while to go down, but those heroes will be able to deal with that one as Pegasus getting himself that micro there, but the blood pack to come through. No Hera on that one. The Hera, oh, never mind, he cancels it. He does get denied. So no Hera to come through just yet for Pegasus as his Hephaestus will pop out. Gonna try and deal with those spearmen on the back there. And now Magic needs to be thinking about how he is going to deal with Hephaestus. as the Atochli comes down onto the bottom side. Will fall from the Blood Pact as the Hippias, they know they can't fight the Spearmen. If you can't fight the Spearmen, what do? Go find something you can fight. As Purge gets dropped down and all of those Hippias will be eating some dust as they die. Tenali left ungathered as a... Whoop, there is a warrior priest there. Magic! Bring the warrior priest over! Grab the Tenali! It's free favor! Wait. There he goes. Yes. Yeah, look. Yep. Perfect. Love it. Yum. Up to 50 favor. Beautiful. Great temple coming up for magic as well. Tequila archers coming through. Tequila archers to deal with the Pegasus does make sense. Of course, the natural response now should be some Peltast from Pegasus as we start moving away from those cavalry compositions. And then you have to ask, what do you build to beat the Peltast? I guess the Jaguar Riders start becoming a very, very nice option for Magic moving forward here as well. But more importantly is a Lightning Storm to come should really help out Pegasus in this game. So do you see the Kinemetsons that come through? I haven't been seeing people build these bad boys. Not the best of ideas versus a Zeus with Bellerophon. Similar to why you wouldn't want to build a catapult, but even worse because this guy's a myth unit. As all the units diving inside of that great temple to keep themselves alive, villagers are going to be falling behind this as the Kinemetson do get zapped down. The great temple will be able to survive as a couple of those Tequila archers do pop out. As I think Magic at the moment does have all of the upgrades you can possibly get for these bad boys. And they should be quite strong as another bolt onto that backside comes down. And the game continues along with some Peltasts now starting to come out. Pegasus with just the one Peltast is on one archer range is going to slow him down a little bit to deal with those champion Tequila archers. I guess a Taunton Smashes to come in as well is another good option. Sort of similar to Arcus Destroyer. You can kind of go for Tequila Archer, Eagle Warrior, or Taunton Smasher to some degree. Meanwhile, we've got flint weapons. We've got feathered armor. I think that's the first upgrades. Is that? Yes. No? Yes. The first upgrades to come through for Magic as Pegasus moving up to the top side to rebuild his town center. More military units coming through for Pegasus as he's trying to figure this all out. Just does not have himself. Now he's got the archery ranges. Nice ceasefire there from Pegasus. So he does get this town center up, but doesn't mean he doesn't have a bronze, which I think is what he wants. But the extra 30 seconds gives him quite a bit here. I must say, the one thing I would like to see from Pegasus here is actually building Hydra at the moment. It's an amazing frontline unit. You've got the Bellerophon and a bunch of other units that can take out warrior priests. An amazing addition into this army to deal with those spearmen. You're going to get those heads in really, really quickly. As the Tequila archers taking down that front line really nicely. The Peltas going after the back line there is... That's going to mean Magic needs to pull back. He needs an answer for those Peltas as the Bellerophon dives forward. Is there enough stuff here? I'm not sure there is. Bellerophon dies quickly. But it looks like there is actually enough for Magic as he manages to push Pegasus back, even though I think Pegasus is way in front on the armory upgrades. Potentially actually mixing in Toxotes here as well isn't a terrible idea. Like half Peltas, half Toxotes if your opponent's going to be going for Spearmen, Tequila Archers, and maybe some Hoplites as well. Trying to figure out these unit compositions and what the right comp versus what unit comp is kind of very important at this stage of the Aztec sort of meta development, so to speak. I don't even know. Anyways, we've got the Jaguar Riders on the way for Magic as well. I think they have to be a good unit at all stages of the game. The fact of the matter is they're always going to be able to jump onto their target, which in this case is going to be the Peltast, as opposed to, say, building like Hippias versus the Peltast, the Hoplites are going to be able to block those 9 times out of 10. Jade weapons, ceremonial armor. Great Temple is about to be falling. As Magic up to the top to secure another gold mine. And Pegasus just putting up a whole bunch of random military buildings all over the place. And goes a Bellerophon for Pegasus. It's the Great Temple. Well, super rusty magic under threat here. These are Zeus Hoplites, so they're doing all that bonus damage. 1.6x. Is the Bellerophon going to come in? A nice answer for those villagers. You can jump onto them, basically one-hit them with that jump, and then I think it's a 3-hit without it. Oh, a huge purge coming in from Magic onto those Peltast. And I think Pegasus needs to reevaluate. He's got to get out of here and redo this. Hoplites versus those Jaguar Riders will win in equal numbers, or not even numbers, but equal resource cost. But they do manage to win that fight there, and a big turnaround for Magic as he's desperately trying to pull this game back from the brink. But look at the resource diff. 5.8k to 7, 5.8k to 2.4k as Pegasus has to get himself back out this army. So the top, Pegasus trying to get himself this fortress up. Looks like he is barely going to finish it. The villagers will dive into that fortress, but it will go down relatively quickly. There's more Jaguar Riders, more Peltas from Pegasus. Of course, he has to deal with all of those Tekiwa archers first. He needs the Hoplites to deal with the Jaguar Riders, but if the Tekiwa archers are there, then the Jaguar Riders are just going to be like, great. My archers kill off your Hoplites, my Jaguar Riders kill off your Peltasts, and then we win the game. Meanwhile, heading into the late game, 4 jars now going to come through as Magic's got himself 2 Great Temples. Effectively, you get this tech, and then you just start slamming down Great Temples everywhere. And once you get 15, you have plus 15 population. Which is kind of a big deal. It's now Pegasus coming in. He's going to take out this fortified talent center as Magic charges up here to deal with it. His units are moving so quickly as the stone walls behind this one coming up, and Pegasus says, yeah, let's pull back ever so slightly. We can fight behind this position as the walls here are so smart because it screws up the Jaguar Riders jump. They can't jump past this because the walls are there. They have to run around like every other normal unit. Really smart play from Pegasus. Is this going to be enough, though, is the question. I think the answer is no, as this Huitzilopochtli army just continues to beat the Zeus Mythic Age army. I'm not exactly sure, but it's like 7.4k military resources with all of those Jaguar Riders. They're so strong here. No, the Jaguar jump does not do AoE damage. It is simply, it does do damage. Very small amount. It might be a tiny amount of AoE. I don't think so. We can actually have a little watch if one wants to jump onto these bad boys at the back. Pretty sure it doesn't do AoE damage. Yeah, no, definitely not. If it is doing AoE damage, it's like tiny. It's like 1 damage maybe. But yeah, it does not do it. I don't think so. And I think the jump also doesn't do that much damage either. You're mostly just getting the damage from the actual stats that are on the unit. The jump is just there as more of a utility thing than anything else. As another ceasefire in. Prodromus to try and prevent the raids makes sense, but all these Tekiwa... Are there actually that many Tekiwa archers? There's 19. All the Tekiwa archers are going to take out the Prodromus relatively quickly as well, as the wall spammage coming up over here as well. Over onto the backside, villagers trying to shank down, but these are champion Jaguar Riders. The Prodromus are in, and they should be able to deal with those Jaguar Riders pretty quickly, but it's looking like Pegasus is just not going to be able to stay afloat in this game. Magic slowly taking out the town center. He's got his Kinometsun. And that'll take out the town center eventually. Pegasus has got enough resources in the bank for just archers. He can't make the hoplites or the prodromus that he needs to defend himself. Villager numbers are falling down to 70 here. The queue is telling all the story as well, as Magic's got all the resources in the world. And Pegasus has nothing but a hope. He has got no hope, but he's got a dream. What can he do? Get another lightning storm off? I don't think so. Up onto the top here, the Kinometsun was dealt with. And again, I think that making a Tauntaun Smashes here is the better shout than making the Kinometsun versus Zeus. Maybe versus Hades. Maybe versus Poseidon, Kinometsun, but definitely not versus Zeus. This Pegasus is having some issues. There is a farm there. It's hard to run over the farm. He's on a treadmill. He's got to get that workout in. And that's the game. GG! That was a very fun game. Magic did an amazing job to pull this one back. A very, very good job to pull this one back. You can see here that this graph tells a million stories of damage, death, and destruction. But I think the story was mostly here in terms of just the Magic army was just able to keep on trading so well. And Pegasus just could not quite deal with it in those moments. I think if he moved away from the cav a little bit faster into like more of an infantry archer based comp, maybe it would have been a different story. But a well played game from both, as they are both rusty, but both getting into form. And it's going to be fun to watch them sort of I don't know if catch up is the right word. I think they kind of already get it. It's just shaking off that mechanical rust and maybe a couple of knowledge things that they have to sort of learn, and then they're going to be back in it, dominating everyone, living the dream. GG.